Here we are yet again in another trial. And all three of us are completely surrounded by portraits now. Me more than anyone.
I was gonna say this as a joke, but the number of portraits have actually doubled since the last time we were in here.
Is this really a time to be joking after everything that happened away?
What does it matter? We're screwed without Gatorade here. It's the only reason we solved the last one at all. Well, without him here, I'll take the head spot on the case, I guess.
We don't even have Waddle Do here. Those two were the ones who carried us last time.
I believe it's about time to start the class trial anyways. Let's now begin the class trial. As you all know, you'll take place and discussions and blah blah blah. You try to figure out who the killer is behind Kamori. The other three murders don't really matter as much, but they are probably going to be important to the case.
We know the rules and everything, Kuma. You don't need to explain them.
Well, alright then, I guess.
Alright, crew. Where are we starting this time?
Well, there's not all that much evidence, but I don't really know where to start with it because it all seems kinda weird.
Maybe instead of starting with the case itself, we should talk about something else first.
And that is...
You know, now that I think about it, no one really brought up the infections during the whole investigation.
That's exactly what I want to start with.
Well, alright then, I guess we're starting there.
My first ever time trying to solve a case. I hope I can do everyone here good. Because if I don't, we're all dead.
If I recall correctly, only about, say, 5 people were left who were not infected by the point of the murder.
Yeah, who all was not infected before the murder? I feel like that final infection will play an important role. If I remember correctly, the only people that were not infected were...
I think that's everyone.
As far as I know it, only Kamori, me, Toy Foxy, Gatorade, and Mimi were not infected by the time. Okay, important question. Toy Foxy, Pepperman, were either of you infected that night? Well, I woke up feeling just peachy keen, so it probably was not me.
Well, it definitely wasn't me. I was feeling just fine. Oh, how nice. The last 3 people left are all dead, so we don't know which one of them was actually infected.
Well, that's somewhere to start at least 20.
Alright, we got a lot of evidence to get going over. What should we do first?
I feel like the most easy piece of evidence to go over will be the gun itself.
Yes, that would seem like it would be the easiest. We should do it first. My first ever time doing something like this. I'll have to listen to everyone and point out contradictions. This shouldn't be too hard. You got this, Pepperman.
As of right now, the only thing we actually know about the gun is that it held 3 rounds and that it was probably used in most of the murders this time.
And those include...
Well, Gatorade had a bullet laying next to him. Waddle Do was clearly shot, so those two are pretty clear.
And Mimi had the gun and the bullet laying right next to her. But all this still leaves out, well, Kamori.
Well, I'm unsure of what the actual stabbing weapon was for Kamori.
Who's to say the actual gun isn't the murder weapon for her, too?
Something seems wrong about what Isabella's saying. Press the X button. But you're a stand, how can you say this?
Shut up, I'm just for a tutorial thing.
What? Oh my gosh, what is this thing?
Wait, didn't Gatorade use something like those to point out contradictions?
Okay, I actually kind of like this now. Let's see. There's a large error in your logic.
Wait, how on earth am I actually wrong here? Well, that's simple. We know that whatever did it was shaped like a pencil and not a bullet. Exactly. Plus, the gun can only hold 3 bullets in it, and we didn't find any cell casings or anything else to say that Kamori was shot. And judging by the fact that the killer left behind all the other bullets, who's to say that they didn't bother cleaning up Kamori's if they did shoot her?
It does seem relatively sloppy to leave 3 bullets behind and then not pick up one of them.
Well, despite what little we've gone over, I feel like the smartest place to go next would probably be the 2nd floor. Because why on earth did they go up there in the first place?
Well, simple. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Gatorade was probably lured up there by Waddle-Doo running up there himself.
But how on earth would that work, Wah?
Would seem like that's the next point of discussion.
How on earth did the killer even have gotten Waddle-Doo up there in the first place?
Let alone, why would Gatorade bother following him?
Well, him and Gatorade were in the same room last night. It makes sense that if one left, the other would too.
But are you ignoring the fact that Waddle-Doo was completely paralyzed and couldn't move?
Well, no, that's because there was a way they could get him to move quite easily.
We're in agreement then.
That's right, that was that dog whistle up there. That could have relatively easily been used to call up Waddle-Doo. Exactly.
Wait a minute, do we even have anything else that can prove that, War?
Well, Wario, you proved this yourself in your own testimony.
Huh? What do you mean by that, Peppa-Man?
Wario himself stated that he was up late grabbing a snack, and he saw 2 people moving to the elevator. I believe those could have been none other than Gatorade and Waddle-Doo themselves.
Have a rotten day!
Oof.
Well, where are we? We're in the middle of an argument right now, because what you're saying is completely ridiculous. I couldn't have seen Waddle-Doo and Gatorade together, War.
Well, I guess I just have to prove that you could have.
Here we go! There's no way it could have been Waddle-Doo who I was seeing.
Why couldn't it have been him?
Because I would have recognized him.
But you already said...
Ow, 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 ugh. You already said quite clearly you couldn't recognize who it was because of the darkness.
But there's no other way you could prove that it was both of them together.
Actually, allow me to cut through those words.
Wario.
Ugh. Have a rotten day.
Well, Wario, I hate to be rude, but there is a way you could have quite clearly known that it was Waddle-Doo and Gatorade.
There's an easy way to just tell it was those two?
In fact, there is. The 2 patches of blood me, Meloetta, and Bendy found.
Huh? How does that prove it? Oh, I get it.
Well, the 2 people who we know were upstairs and were shot were Waddle-Doo and Gatorade. The 2 patches of blood had to have been them.
Wait a minute, are you meaning to tell me that they somehow moved the body all the way from up there down to electrical?
No, there's a much easier way they could have gotten it down there.
I don't know what that was. We were not allowed in there.
Error on my part, I was a little bit mad. But Pepperman knows what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, the bloody ceiling vent. Yes, I remember.
Oh, he fell through the electrical or the game room ceiling vent and fell back down. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Hang on, if the body fell, and Gatorade was also shot up there and was unconscious, how would his body end up being in the oven room?
Well, that's a good question.
Why was Gatorade's body in the oven room? If everything else happened in the game room, why would they move him in there? I gotta answer this one.
In my mind, there was no purpose to actually moving Gatorade if he was already dead.
Well, my thought is maybe he wasn't dead at that point.
Oh yeah, that's right. His cause of death was bleeding out, so he wouldn't have been dead by the point they brought him over there.
By the time who brought them over there?
It can't have been Waddle-Doo, he was dead.
Well, currently we only know of
two people who were on the that floor at the time. Gatorade and Waddle do.
Well, given the placement of her body, we can probably infer that Kamori was up there too.
Well, maybe Kamori moved it. You see, that doesn't make much sense to me. Why on earth would Kamori move the body? It makes more sense if someone else was to do it.
We've reached a consensus.
Well, dang, I'm on to something, it seems.
I have evidence there was another person who probably moved Gatorade's body. Mimi. Wait, you can confirm she was on the second floor at some point?
Well, not exactly confirmed, but the evidence does seem pretty clear. Whenever I woke up this morning, I saw a note with Mimi's handwriting on it, saying to come to the oven room in the second floor where Gatorade's body was.
Well, that is pretty damning evidence.
Well, I guess if Mimi drugged them, then that would mean that one of the blood trails up there probably belonged to Gatorade. But then, why? Who made the other blood trail?
Well, there was only one other person up on that floor who could have been bleeding at that time.
Well, Luigi's right. But who could have made those blood trails?
Wait, no, this is an easy one, not a minute.
Oh, why do I gotta do a minigame for it? It's so easy.
Just do the minigame. We didn't do one of these in Chapter 2.
Well, wait. Mimi, what are you doing here? Also, wait, you're a plus now.
Well, number one, I'm a memory, you idiot. Well, no, I'm not really a mini... It doesn't matter. And number two, yeah, I got one commission. Don't I look so much better?
Dang, I kinda like the made one better. What was that? Nothing.
Listen, just play Hangman.
Alright, the two blood trails belong to... Now I'll make this one A. Okay, that was easy. G. K. You know what? I haven't gotten any wrong yet. I want to see what it feels like. Z. Okay, now that I've gotten one wrong, can I just solve it? I know what the answer is.
Yeah, we've killed enough time on this.
The two blood trails were from Gatorade and Kamori. Gatorade and Kamori. You spelled Gatorade's name wrong.
Alright, genius, what does it matter to you? You still got it right.
I didn't even need the minigame to do this.
Whatever, you ready to go back to the real world now?
I don't want to leave you yet.
What?
Nothing. Yes, I'm ready to go back.
Well, alrighty then.
I'm alive.
Why the hell did you do a minigame for that? That was like a really easy question.
I don't know, though. I don't know why I did. Okay. But, the blood trails belong to Gatorade and Kamori.
Wait, are we certain Kamori would actually have been bleeding at that point?
I can 100% confirm that. The wounds were done in this order, the stab wounds to the back, and then the impaling of the throat, at a slightly later point.
Well, okay, if you confirm all that, when does that tell us, Wayne?
But wait, if Mimi was up there, how did Wario not see her?
Yeah, there was no possible... What? What on earth are we?
Listen, I changed the location because if we tried to film into the other place, we would never get this episode done.
Wow, the portraits look awful now.
Shut up, why do you care?
Whatever, Wayne, Wario, what were you going to say? Oh, right. Yeah, I can confirm there was only two people there. There's no possible way I would have missed Mimi.
I gotta prove how Mimi could have been up there. That shouldn't be too hard. Wait, should we really spin around? This area looks really small.
Ah, the heck with it, do it anyway. Listen, I'll admit maybe I was possibly wrong on the part about what to do on Gatorade. But there was no way I could have been wrong on the fact that I didn't see a third person. I mean, we have an eyewitness. As much of an idiot as that eyewitness is, I don't think he would have missed a third person. Bendy, oh my gosh, I would strangle you. Alright, then do it, coward.
Listen, instead of talking about what Bendy's into, how about we actually discuss how she could have been up there?
The hell did you just say about...
Well, I mean, maybe she made herself invisible somehow?
Are all of you stupid? She could have just made herself small.
I agree.
Oh crap, I forgot the gun.
Hey, what's poppin', Daddy-O? I agree with that.
Dang it, now we gotta move the whole trial.
Well, crap, I didn't think about that. Whatever, we reached the consensus.
So the answer was just she shrunk herself down really small and got on the elevator and no one could see her.
Ugh. I'd fallen, and I can barely get up. Well, you know what? At least this one doesn't make me look stupid. I mean, you do a pretty good job at that anyways. Kill you!
So, we know everyone who was on the floor during that time. There was 4 people on the floor. I agree on that, but why?
Well, we already know why 3 of them were up there. Wait, did we ever establish why Kamori was up there? Well, I don't think we actually ever did.
Well, it seems that's our next point of discussion. I'm too lazy to spin around again to reveal.
So why was Kamori on the second floor?
How the hell is that cuphead cut out talking, Ray?
Beats me.
Wait, there's a third one.
Wow, this joke sucked. Well, I think there's a good reason that Kamori was on the second floor.
We need to fire the guy who's doing these zoom-in shots. These can you hit me literally anywhere else? It got him right into the turn. Who's controlling this camera?
I'm a little confused now, but maybe... someone found something that could point to why she was up there? That's a little non-specific.
I don't know, maybe she was behind that pillow fort. I don't think I can agree with this one. I mean, he's right, but it's a literal cutout. What do you...
Alright, we've established why Kamori was up there. She was probably hiding behind that thing, waiting to shoot them. Yeah, I don't think we really need to discuss that. Yeah, Kamori was just being a scumbag here.
So, she was waiting to kill Gatorade and Waddle too.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess she was, but if she was just waiting up there, and she had all the time in the world, why did Gatorade only have a bullet in his leg? I mean, the gun had 3 shots. Why only shoot him in the leg and wait for him to bleed out?
Also, why let him be moved, Wei?
Oh, my children. Ugh. Well, maybe that's another good area for discussion.
It would seem we have a next area of discussion.
If I had a nickel for every time that line's been used, I would be freaking Bezos or something.
Well... Where's the discussion spin, Wei?
You're lazy!
The question of why Kamori would only shoot for the leg does confuse me. The question of why Kamori would only shoot for the leg does confuse me. Maybe she just wanted him to suffer from bleeding out?
I know Kamori's cruel and all, but I don't think that's why.
Well, as someone who's somewhat gun-trained, is it at all possible that she fired in a panic and missed the shot she was aiming for?
Wait, no. Ow.
It would only make sense if she was interrupted by something, and that's why she missed her initial shot.
But that still leaves the question of why. She could have just shot again and killed.
Well, what if the thing that interrupted her shot wasn't something, but someone? Who could be that someone? It could only be Mimi. As we know, she was on the second floor. And... oh gosh, I don't even want to think about it.
Wait, so if it was Mimi that interrupted Kamori shooting them, then... is it possible that she was...
As much as I love her, I think she was up on the second floor and that she interrupted Kamori.
I mean, hey, brother, I ship it.
I'm gonna beat you to... So, if it was her that interrupted Kamori, how on earth would that work? how would Mimi have stopped Kamori? That's our next point.
You owe me a nickel. Are you just trying to get on everyone's bad side? Yeah. Dang, I haven't said freedom enough this episode. America, freedom, bald eagle, burger.
Okay, can you stop having a stroke for like 5 seconds?
Frick you.
How did Mimi interrupt Kamori? It seems like there's infinite possibilities for this one because it wouldn't be too hard to scare Kamori into missing. You know, usually fall damage doesn't hurt me, but for some reason it does here. Well, Pepperman, it seems you need help on this. You know, that would be very appreciated. I mean, you have been carrying like this entire trial, so, you know, I would very much appreciate. Well, I have a little bit of guidance here, because I've been thinking about this a lot. Just follow my lead and all will be okay. So during this case, one thing has seemed off to me the entire time. Gatorade was only shot in the leg when him and Waddle-Doo were lured into that room. If my theory was correct, Kamori would think she had ample time to shoot him. And even if she did miss, for some weird reason, why not just shoot again? I thought maybe something was thrown to scare her, but we never found anything that could have been thrown like that. I thought about her being killed right there and then, but it wouldn't make sense. But I have come to a logical conclusion using what little bit of evidence we have about Kamori's body. Do you know what that is, Pepperman? I got it. The reason why she missed the shot was because he got stabbed in the back as he was attempting to aim. Thank goodness you got it. Well, I think the most logical option was she got interrupted when she was stabbed in the back.
I'm sorry to, say this, but I really doubt that would have been enough for her to, miss a shot completely.
But what about this? What if the force of the stab was enough to make her drop the gun, and then it shot and hit Gatorade in the leg? So she was going to shoot him in a more vital place, but a misfire caused it to only hit him in the leg. But wait, if we're going to go with the theory of her being stabbed, then what did the stabbing? And the good follow-up to Isabel's question, what was the murder weapon, we?
Well, Luigi's bringing up the most important question. What was that weapon? We haven't found one in any of the investigation other than the gun. And we know that wasn't what killed her. So what the hell killed Kamori?
This is the most important question, Pepperman. You can't get this wrong. The murder weapon behind Kamori could have been only one thing. It could only be that. As much as I hate to say it, the murder weapon behind Kamori was Mimi herself. Wait, how on earth would it make sense for a person to be a murder weapon? I mean, if you think about it, it makes perfect logical sense. Mimi could shapeshift her limbs into anything she wanted, including her own body. After she made herself tiny, she could have used her shapeshiftable limbs to stab Kamori. And after being stabbed once, Kamori began to run, only to be chased down by Mimi and stabbed several more times. And whenever she made it into the elevator, Mimi stabbed her through the throat, killing her. Oh my gosh! Wait, so that means Kamori is dead at this point? But how would Gatorade be moved into the other room? Well, that would be easy. It would have had to have been, Mimi who moved him. But why would she move him into another room, eh? Yeah, if she just killed Kamori, why come back and move Gatorade's body? Well, bleeding out does take a little while, so maybe he was still alive at that point. So you're meaning to tell me Gatorade survived through the initial bullet wound? Now that I actually think about it, he had to have. His cause of death was bleeding out. Okay, details. So at this point, only these two were left on the second floor who were alive. And Mimi moved the body. Why would Mimi move the body? That doesn't make any sense to me. Perhaps we should discuss this? Yeah, this is a really important question. We should discuss this. So, if Mimi was really the one to move Gatorade's body, then what would be the point in that?
I mean, at this point, he was already bleeding out.
Maybe she did it so she could finish off Gatorade herself.
No, that's wrong! I can prove she did it for good reason with the bandaged leg. There's no way Kamori could have done that, and at this point Gatorade was probably unconscious due to blood loss, at the very least.
But, wait. If she tied the tourniquet around Gatorade's leg that quickly, how would he have bled out from such a bullet wound?
Wait, what do you mean by that, Toy Foxy?
Well, a wound like that would be not all too dangerous if treated. If untreated, it could have been dangerous, but by the looks of it, it was properly treated from the little view of it I got. Wait. If his leg was treated, then he couldn't have bled out, though. Oh my. No way. No way! What? What's going on? If all that about his leg is true, then it's impossible Gatorade died from that leg wound. Oh my gosh. Wait. That was the only wound on his entire body. And it wasn't severe enough to kill him. Wait. Are you insinuating what I think you insinuated? If all this is true, then there's no way Gatorade could be dead. What? If he truly did have his leg treated, there was no possible way for it to bleed out like that. Hold it! You weren't the BDA too. Me and you both triggered it. How else could that happen if he was still alive? Well, that's simple. He wasn't actually dead. He only appeared to be, but we can even confirm he wasn't dead because of Monokuma himself. He said, and I quote, "I didn't know Gatorade was dead." What? Oh my gosh. He's alive? No, this one is idiotic at best. I'm not about to let you drag us down a hill that's gonna get us killed. Then prove to me how he could have actually died, Bendy. I will prove this fact if it kills me. Well, if you want a showdown, I'll give you one. Bring it on, tough guy. I ain't about to let you kill both of us on this hill. Then prepare to perish. It's showtime. Alright, for just a moment, let's entertain the notion that Gatorade's still alive. Yeah, sure, the bandage does look kind of weird, and sure, he did have it healed. That doesn't positively mean that was the only thing that could have actually killed him. No, that's wrong. In the very first case, it listed that OJ had medicine in his system. If something like that was to happen to Gatorade, that would have been listed too. Ow! Well, alright, you may have gotten me there, but are you seriously ignoring the fact that the BDA played after me and you saw the body? I mean, there's no other feasible way that could have happened unless the guy was actually dead. Unless you're insinuating there was another dead body in. That's not what I'm insinuating at all. What I'm insinuating is the fact that Monokuma could have just played the announcement to confuse us and convince us that Gatorade was dead. Ah! Well, what makes you think that Monokuma and the Mastermind would want him dead that badly? Simple. He was connecting a lot with Meloetta and Waddle-Doo. He began to know too much, so they had to try to kill him, but that failed. No. Dang it. If you're wanting to drag us down on this stupid hill, then tell me. Is there anything that you can conclusively use to dictate that only those three died, and Gatorade lived? Prove that to me, why don't you?
It ends here, Bendy.
No. Damn it! See, Bendy? I know I'm right on this. Gatorade has to still be alive. But if he's alive, then bring him on out, Kuma.
The Mastermind's gonna kill me for this. But I can't. There. Come on out if you're alive.
Where am I?
Oh, thank goodness you're alive!
Mommy, where am I?
Waddle Doo, where's Waddle Doo?
Well, he's... Oh my gosh, what happened?
We then proceeded to tell Gatorade everything. And after that, all that was left is to solve the real murder. But if Kamori, I know she killed Waddle Doo. And then who shot Mimi? I think there was only one person that could have killed Mimi.
And that was...
Well... It had to have been her. Well, we already know who killed everyone else. And the only person left who could have killed Mimi was Mimi herself.
But why? Why would she do it?
I don't think she wanted to be punished. She knew what she had done, but she didn't want to be punished for it. And that means that, in the end, she killed someone else protecting others and couldn't see the consequences. Oh my gosh, why is she... She really did that. I think we know enough. Kuma, we're ready to vote.
Okay. Wait, shouldn't you recap the thing first?
Oh, yeah, I'll do that just really quickly. This is the truth of the case. I don't believe this case started with the actual motive. I believe it started a little bit earlier than that.
Right after the second trial, Kamori realized he had to go into hiding now and had the entire second floor to her fingertips. Using the nighttime, she managed to find herself a hiding spot somewhere on the second floor. During her time in hiding, she came across a gun and 3 bullets. It's unknown where these came from.
Now being armed as everyone descended into madness, the killer Kamori began to devise a plan. Planting the gun and ammo somewhere in the game room and then going out back into the main area.
The only time I believe she came downstairs was to grab the dog whistle and then run right back upstairs.
I'm unsure of how, but the killer then pushed a pillow into the way to make a little barrier for herself and then waited. I'm unsure of how she knew the perfect time to strike, however she probably asked Monokuma or something of that sort due to being a traitor.
This plan worked out perfectly, causing Gatorade to take Waddle Doo to his room.
When it was time, the killer blew the dog whistle to get Waddle Doo on his way.
The killer then just set the dog whistle down and got behind into a good position.
She then proceeded to wait for her victims to enter the room. This caused the infected Waddle Doo to waddle out of his room following the sound. Not far off was Gatorade, who was following quickly behind Waddle Doo. What nobody knew at the time was the real killer behind this case was watched the entire thing unfold, and as they saw Gatorade and Waddle Doo run by, they proceeded to follow them, and shrunk down tiny. Also during this time, Wario was heading back from the kitchen after grabbing a snack. And during this time, he saw 2 people. However, due to the killer being tiny, he was not able to actually see them. He watched Waddle Doo board the elevator, then Gatorade and the killer, but he didn't see the killer. Not wanting anything to do with whatever was going on, Wario simply went back to bed. Waddle Doo and Gatorade then ran into the room together. Unbeknownst to the 2 of them and Kamori, the killer entered behind them. Waddle Doo ran over to where the sound came from, and before either of them could react, Kamori sprung up and shot Waddle. His body fell through a vent, causing it to land in electrical but below. Gatorade watched all this in shock, and before he knew it, the bell rang and he passed out unconscious. Believing she had a free kill, Kamori approached. But as she was taking aim, the killer lunged forward and stabbed her in the back. This caused Kamori to drop the gun and flee. The drop gun then misfired, and luckily only struck Gatorade in the leg, not too vital of an area. Not wanting to risk any more deaths, the killer followed behind Kamori, stabbing her multiple more times as she went to the elevator. Kamori then ran for the elevator and managed to get the door open. As she was barely inside, the killer came up and finished things on the spot, simply just closing the door and leaving Kamori for dead. The killer then came back to the crime scene, and Gatorade was still alive. Taking the opportunity, the killer took Gatorade's body into the oven room. After doctoring his leg back to health so that he wouldn't bleed out, the killer then decided that that was good enough and went back to the game room. Going back to the game room, the killer decided to grab the gun. After killing someone, they knew the punishment and they were not about to face the music. However, on the way back down, they realized something. They had forgotten something very important. No one would find Gatorade's body at the moment because no one would think to go and check in the oven room. So as soon as they got back downstairs, they made one last decision before taking matters into their own hands. The killer took some time and wrote a short note for me and then went to my room. Knowing that I was an early bird, the killer took the note and slipped it under my door whenever they heard me wake up. However, realizing I would leave my room soon, the killer then shapeshifted. They shapeshifted into Gatorade, due to no one suspecting him. I walked right by Gatorade, said hello, and then continued on my way. As soon as the killer realized I had passed, they went into my room, shifted under, grabbed the note, and then went back to their room. With all this done and the first body discovered, the killer ripped up my note and then waited for the third body to be discovered. As soon as the killer knew Gatorade's body was discovered, they took the gun and proceeded to take fate into their own hands. And this is how the entire case ended. However, I believe I know who this killer was. In this case, it could be none other than you. Mimi, the ultimate shapeshifter. You're the only one who could have done all this. Well, as far as I can remember, every part of that's correct. Well, now that you guys got everything sorted, let's see the votes. Will you pick the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? And ding ding ding, you all got it correct, and crap, we can't even punish her. Oh, whatever, it's too early in the morning for this. You all win, good job, you get to go back to your lives. The Mastermind is gonna skin me alive in a few minutes, just get out of here. I can't believe she really sacrificed herself to save me. I can't believe she's gone. Even if I never got to say it to her, she meant a lot to me. I know how you feel. It's like Noctis all over again. You need some help back to your room. Yeah. I need some rest tonight. Well, alright, let's go.
Oh gosh, he's gonna kill me. He's actually gonna kill me. Mastermind's gonna kill me for this.
Oh, Kuma!
Yes, Mastermind.
Hiding in the game room again. Can't say I'm surprised.
Just got to the chase and yell at me.
Oh, well, yes, that is the part where I meant to do that. But I'm not going to this time. You did your part just fine.
Wait, really?
Oh, yes. Things might not have went exactly how I would have liked them. I would have preferred Gatorade to stay dead, but... oh, this went better than I ever could have hoped.
So you're not mad about Kamori being...
You think I care about her? No, I could care less what happened to her. It was nice having someone who was actually loyal, but she played her part. killing two of the biggest threats left to us and mortally wounding one. Until that stupid spider killed them. But whatever, we can deal with that later.
Speaking of, are your plans ready?
Oh, I'll alert you of the next motive whenever it's time.
Well, alrighty.
You who? Huh? Who is that? Show yourself, coward! Oh, hello there, Mastermind. How the hell did you know that already? Are you one of them?
Oh, you did research into me. Did you not know what I was?
Kuma, what's happening?
I don't know. I wasn't prepared for this.
Listen, back off before we just kill you right here and there. Would you really kill me, though?
I already know a little bit too much. Man, if I was to just disappear, wouldn't someone say something? Oh, I guess not. You people don't think that far ahead now, do you?
And what's that supposed to mean?
Listen, Mastermind. I figured you out 2 chapters ago. It took almost no effort from me, in fact. But I think it might be in your best interests to let me join you.
And why would I? Why do you know they're not gonna sabotage me?
You think I would sabotage you? You never did me wrong, unlike the others. What do you mean, Oh, that's not important, Kuma. What is important is that I'm here to give you a little proposition.
Oh yeah? What is it?
I know that you like having power, and I respect that from you, big man, but it does seem like you're struggling a little bit. So how about you let me join you? Masterminds in crime, eh?
I
agree.
Kuma, are you serious? Can we really trust this thing?
Oh, thing! Oh, that's quite a colorful way of calling me something. Oh, I appreciate it, in fact. Oh, that was quite entertaining.
Fine. How about you help us next chapter? We could certainly use the help.
Mastermind, I think you two might want to talk in private for a little while, because it's not too long until daytime.
Oh, yes. I'll be heading down. I'll meet with you later on and we'll discuss.
Oh, that individual. Always so angry. Oh well, I can't blame them. Oh, tally-ho now.
Where am I? This place feels so familiar. And I can't remember any of it.
Are you leaving so soon?
Who said...
Hey there, buddy.
Noctis? Where are we?
Hey, he's not here alone. I mean, kind of rude to assume that.
Wait, Joey, Freddy, Waddle-Doo? You're both here too? Then where's everyone else?
Well, OJ said he didn't have anyone left on this side of eternity, so he's gone. And Cuphead said he had someone else to look out for who wasn't here. We don't know where Mimi is. And Kamori... yeah, she ain't here, don't worry about that.
Alright. Where is this place?
You're dead, Gatorade. Just like we are.
I'm... Is this heaven?
What? No. This is the in-between. Basically, we just have been watching here. We're just waiting for the games to end, seeing how our loved ones are doing.
So, you 3 have just been watching this entire time?
Hey, I gotta make sure Toy Foxy's alright, and plus hanging out with Noctis is pretty nice. Turns out, whenever you have no one else to talk to, he's a great talking partner. And I gotta stay and make sure Waddle Dee can complete whatever he's trying to do.
So, do I join you all?
I don't think it's your time yet.
What do you mean it's not my time yet?
He's right. I do sense a little bit of ounce of life inside you. Plus, they need you, Gatorade. You can still go back, or you can stay here. But they're relying on you. You should go back.
Thank you, Noctis. But how do I? What the? I'm alive and my leg, it's fine. Where? I'm in the oven room. Did any of that just happen? Well, I should probably get to the... What was that? Thank you, Noctis.